Peace, family. The other day, the FBI killed this guy. He was suspected of making threats against the president and several other people, and a few of them happened to be black. He claimed himself to be a Trump supporter. But I want you to watch this report and see how disturbing this is.
Let's turn now to the deadly FBI raid on a home in Utah, where agents shot and killed a man who they say made disturbing threats against President Biden and other officials. NBC News senior White House correspondent Kelly O'Donnell has the very latest.
New details this morning about that fatal FBI shooting in Utah, when the FBI came to arrest Craig Robertson for threatening to assassinate President Biden, Vice President Harris, and other officials. Robertson was armed, a senior law enforcement official tells NBC News, and he pointed his weapon at federal agents and did not comply with their commands. This video recorded at the scene early Wednesday. Robertson was shot and killed inside an entry of his Provo home, NBC News has learned. Not far from where President Biden was expected to arrive hours later.
Ultimately, there was a threat posed to an agent, and agent fired back.
The 75-year-old woodworker displayed his cache of weapons and graphic talk about violent attacks online. A law enforcement source says former President Trump's social media platform, Truth Social.
Now, you see, Donald Trump was kicked off of Twitter because he was using that as that platform to help do the January 6th insurrection, the attack on the Capitol building, spreading lies about the election being stolen from him, just rallying up his people, talking to the Proud Boys and all these other white supremacist groups. They kicked him off of Twitter. So he goes out and forms his own social media platform, Truth Social, which I don't think a lot of people know about, but the white people do. But see, if Donald Trump can create his own social media format, why can't we? But, that's a topic for another discussion. And he goes on to this new format, and he's doing the same thing, rallying these people around lies. Because I don't understand what type of lifestyle this guy, 75 years old, they say he is, a woodworker. I was watching a report earlier. They were saying that he was a nice, quiet guy. I forget what they said what he worked at. But what type of lifestyle are you having that you could allow Donald Trump to influence you to try to assassinate the President of the United States? What type of lifestyle do you have that you want to protect that bad? I mean, how is the exchange of one president for another going to protect that lifestyle that you're going to risk? 75 years old, you at the end of the road. Time for you to sit back and just enjoy your life. And he was a woodworker, and you see a collection of guns he had. What type of lifestyle were you willing to maintain that you would go so far as to try to kill not only the President of the United States, but the Vice President, the New York District Attorney, who was a black guy. The black female was, I think, a district attorney in Florida. The other white guy was the governor of California. What's worth all that? But let's continue.
Alerted authorities in March about the alarming nature of Robertson's threatening comments. Truth Social has not responded to NBC News' request for comment. On his accounts, Robertson declared himself a MAGA Trumper and described part of his arsenal as a Democrat eradicator. The FBI said Robertson showed an intent to kill President Biden and Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who is prosecuting the hush money case against Mr. Trump.
NBC's Kelly O'Donnell with that report. And Reverend Sharp.
It's amazing to me how influential these white people are. Every time I listen to Donald Trump, he screams idiot. His answers is so vague and elementary, but somehow he's resonating something in these white people that's making him what he called himself, a MAGA Trump supporter. How do you How do you like Donald Trump so much that you want an extra large or a supreme Trump? What is this guy, what policies is he talking about? When you look at all the crimes this guy has been charged with, I think it's like 78 felonies he's being charged with. Paying hush money to porn stars, found guilty of sexual assault. And now your social media site, your platform, is inspiring people to go after sitting presidents of the United States, sitting vice president of the United States, the district attorneys who's trying to not take away his First Amendment rights, but forbid him from talking about the case, from doing exactly this, firing up. How does this guy still qualify to be president of the United States? How is he still in the running? And if he's doing this on a social media platform, what's going to happen if he reclaims the office to be president once again? You know, this is what I said in a previous video. If this guy is the #1 nominee for the Republican Party, I myself will vote for Donald Trump. I swear on everything I love. If this guy is the nominee for the Republican Party, I don't care if my vote is the deciding vote. I'm voting for Donald Trump. I'm gonna make sure this, because this guy's going to get back into office and he's going to tear the courts down. He's going to wreak havoc, and I'm gonna be laughing every step of the way. But let me finish this video with this. Hold on.
NBC's Kelly O'Donnell with that report. And Reverend Sharpton, we noted earlier, credit to the folks at Truth Social for doing the right thing, for alerting the FBI to this very disturbing rhetoric coming from one of their users. But that rhetoric has been created and fostered in an environment that has been put forth by Donald Trump and his allies.
Well, clearly, when you look at the statements made and posted by the deceased, he was repeating his firm belief in what Donald Trump had been preaching and saying, even on the social media platform that he used to turn this guy in. He was the one that incited these feelings, just like he incited the feelings of the people of January 6th who are sitting in jail. Many of them were long-term sentences now, based on him saying he was legitimately robbed of the presidency. They took his votes. It's time for the people to rise up. And you had people going to the Capitol building talking about, give me Mike Pence. This guy in Utah was no different from them, and the one that incited all of this was Donald Trump. You can't take him out of the picture.
No.
Let me conclude this video by saying this. First of all, Al Sharpton, you are the most worthless piece of civil rights leader I've ever seen in my life. Secondly, the Bible says that a tree is known by the fruit it bears. When this guy is collecting an arsenal like this, it makes no sense for Donald Trump's Truth Social format to alert the authorities about the threat that this guy intended for the president, when the root of the problem is Donald Trump. Why waste your time reporting this guy, turning him in to authority? He's just one piece of fruit off of this MAGA tree. When you do nothing to silence the person who's influencing this guy. Donald Trump is poisoning this tree. And people are sitting up here being poisoned by this guy. And you see the potential threat that he has. You see the arsenal that he has behind him. Assault rifles, body armor suits, night vision goggles. These people ain't playing. And throughout all this weaponry, the one thing that you did not see is a folding chair. Keep that in mind. This guy has got to be stopped, Donald Trump and these so-called MAGA extremists. This is absolutely ridiculous.